Okay, so students were already given time on page 6 to complete the multiplication. We're going to get right into practicing graphing functions. Now again, let me be clear. I am doing this too fast for you to use a calculator. So don't use a calculator in this problem. Just watch. Yes, ma'am. Oh, I am so sorry. I grabbed it from there. Ms. Lawrence, could she get an extra note packet? Thank you, ma'am. All right. So what I'm going to demonstrate, and you just watch and take notes, is how do I type this into my calculator, okay, and then fill in the table and create the graph. Okay. Now, does anyone recall what is absolute value? Like, what's the absolute value of -7? 7. Okay, thank you. Remember, absolute value is distance to 0. So if you wanted to, you could do all this work. Notice it's green. You don't have to write it down. If you wanted to, you could do all this work in your head. You could ask yourself, what is the absolute value of -5? Well, that's 5, and 5 plus 5 is 10. If you wanted to, you could say, what is the absolute? Notice the 10 is blue. That you should be writing. Anything that's blue, you should write. You have a pencil? All right, we're on page 6 of this packet. Absolute value of -3 is 3, plus 5 is 8. Absolute value of -1 is 1. 1 plus 5 is 6. Okay? Absolute value of 0 is 0. Because if you're standing on 0, your distance from 0 is 0. You're on 0. And 0 plus 5 is 5. And the rest of the numbers aren't going to change. Absolute value of 1, 3, and 5 is 1, 3, and 5. So 1 plus 5 is 6. 3 plus 5 is 8. 5 plus 5 is 10. So if you wanted to, you could do the mental math. And I definitely think some of you could take the time to practice that. But my goal today is to show you how to get the calculator to do all of the work for you. So I want to pretend that I'm too lazy to do any of that work. And I just want to get those numbers. Now I'm going to switch to my calculator. I want you to just watch. Don't worry about typing with me because I'm going to do this first one way too fast. I'm going to type this equation into my calculator. Absolute value of x plus 5. I'm going to do this really fast, so don't try to keep up. Oh, I got to clear that out first. All right, there we go. Let me do that again. Absolute value of x plus 5. As soon as I learn how to type. There we go. Now, this is the thing we want to draw, but to be able to draw that, we would need to get these values. There's a really simple way to do this in the calculator, which I will do more slowly with the next example, where you just look at the table of values. Now, our table starts at the number -5. So I'm going to go back to -5, and I would copy down the number 10, which you should already have written on your packet. Then I want -3. So I'd go to my calculator to -3, and I'd copy the 8, which you should already have written in your notes. Everybody with me on this? I'm trying to show you how the calculator can do the work for you. I want -1, 0, 1, 3, and 5. So -1 is 6, 0 is 5, 1 is 6, 3 is 8, 5 is 10. So I'm going to write 6, 5, 6, 8, 10. 6, 5, 6, 8, 10. Okay, so again, you can do all of this work, or you can use the calculator. Now, if you use the calculator, you're not going to have any of that work shown. And now we just have to graph those points. Notice this is all in blue, so this should be in your note packet. Okay? Now, I'm going to graph. Remember, when we graph, the x value is how far you go left and right. The function value is how far up and down you go. And you always start at the origin. So the point -5, 10 means start at the origin, go left 5, and up 10. Everyone graph a point there now, please. At -5, 10. Plot a point. I'm going to do that myself now. -5, 10. Now I'm going to go to the next point. -3, 8 means start at the origin, go left 3, up 8. Everybody put a point right there. This is how all points get graphed. Now I'm going to jump down, do -1, 6. So that means, again, start at the origin, go left 1, up 6. So put a point there now. I jump down. Now this one has a 0. I find that the 0, for whatever reason, confuses a lot of students. Okay? But the 0 just means don't go left or right at all. So the 0 means don't go left and right. The 5 means go up. So I'm going to start at the origin. I'm not going to go left and right. I'm just going to go up and plot a point right there. That's what 0, 5 means. Remember, the blue is what you should be copying. Don't worry about copying anything else. Okay, now I have 1, 6, which means go right 1 and up 6. I'm going to plot a point right there. Then we've got 3, 8. So I'm going to go right 3 and up 8 and plot a point there. And then finally, 5, 10, which means go right 5 and up 10. I'm going to plot a point there. Okay. Now, once you have all your points graphed, if you're looking at it and you're wondering what the heck is that supposed to look like, well, again, I'll show you how to do this in the calculator with the next example. You can just hit graph and you can see the thing that you're trying to create. Okay. So now I know it's just supposed to be a v, which is how pretty much all absolute value functions end up looking. So please make sure your paper looks like this. You should have these numbers. You should have this graph with those points. That's what should be on your paper. Okay? So you can erase that because what I want is just those points. Now again, if you didn't want to depend on the calculator, you wanted to do the mental math, then fine. The green is a great way of doing the work yourselves. But my goal for today is to jump over that part and just make sure everybody knows how to use these calculators. Algebra 2 is a very graph-heavy course. We're going to do tons of stuff with graphing calculators. So think of this first couple days as just let's try to get comfortable with these things. All right, turn the page, please. We're now on page, what is this, 7, I think? Yes, page 7. Now again, I'm going to be partner A, you all will be partner B, but watch me do the first part and kind of follow along. Our goal is to create a graph of that function. That's what we want to try to do here. Okay? Now, again, if you wanted to, you could go through all of this work. You could figure out what is -3 squared plus 1? What is -2 squared plus 1? What is -1 squared plus 1? I don't want you to do that. I want it to be faster. I want it to be more efficient. Mathematicians like to be lazy. We like to do as little work as possible if we can. Okay, so now everyone follow along with me. Get your calculators out. Now here's a problem. These calculators were already used. Can everyone, I want you to push y equals. Is something else already typed there? Okay, for most of these calculators, I think the answer is yes, because other people in the other class were using them. Okay, so I want you to try to remember that you have to reset your calculator. I'm even going to put this banner up on the wall in the future. Okay? Okay? Reset your calculator. You press the second key, then you press the plus sign, then you press 7, 1, 2. Okay? Now the second key is right here. It's in the top left corner of the calculator. See, it's second. Then you hit plus. Then you press 7, 1, 2. Now, here's the beautiful thing about that. You just reset the calculator. It doesn't matter what anyone else did with it before you had it. It's a fresh, clean calculator now. Okay? So again, second plus 7, 1, 2. And I do that before every problem. Now, I want everyone to follow along with me. I'm going to teach you how to type this into your graphing calculator. Okay? So our goal is to type x squared plus 1. So in your calculator, please press the y equals button. Now we're going to type x squared plus 1. Now the x key, you can see this little button next to the alpha button. It says xt theta n. You hit that. That's your x. Now here's a problem. I'm going to do this wrong, so don't copy this next part. Don't just type 2. Nope, that's not it. Because it's not x2, it's x squared. Okay, so here's what you're going to have to do. Let me get rid of that 2 that I just typed. Okay, here's how you tell the calculator, I want it to be that little number up top. You press this arrow button. That positions the calculator to understand, oh, you want this to be an exponent. Now you can type 2. Now, here's another problem. I don't want anything else in the exponent. You know, maybe the exponent is supposed to be 23 or 237. I don't want that. I don't want all this other stuff in the exponent. Okay? So that's what this little arrow that's flashing is telling you. If you are done with the exponent, and we are, because all we want is a 2, hit the arrow key. That gets you out of the exponent. And now you can type +1. Be honest, does anyone want me to go through that one more time? A room full of people got that the first time? Because that'd be a first for me. All right, so we have the equation. Now, if you want, you can hit the graph button, and it will show you the thing that you're trying to create. So if we do this problem correctly, we're going to have that curve on our paper here in a minute or two. Okay? What would help is if we had the table of values. Well, here's a really nice thing. Do you see how there's the word table just above the word graph? What color is that word? Blue. So all that's saying is if you want the table, hit the blue button first. So hit second, then hit graph. And that will jump you to the table. And it's really easy to go between the two. Like if I want to, I can just hit graph again, and it'll show me the graph. If I want to go back to the table, I hit second graph, and that shows me the table. Now, we want to fill in a table that starts at -3. -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2. So notice on your calculator screen, it doesn't show me any of the negatives. It only shows the positives, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Well, it's really easy to get to them. Just go up. Okay? If you want to get to more positives, down. There's 11, go down. There's 12, go down. 13. If you want the negatives, then just go up. There's 2, there's 1, there's 0, -1, -2, -3. And that's where our table starts. Our table starts at -3. Okay? I see 3 people that I'm concerned about because their heads are down. Remember, I am walking you through what I'm going to want proof that you know how to do tomorrow. Okay? We're going to do 5 examples today. Tomorrow, you got to prove to me you can do 2 of them. Okay? So I'm going to start at -3. I'm going to copy the 10, the 5, the 2, the 1, the 2, and the 5. I'm going to copy those numbers. That way I can fill in this table. And now I'm ready to create the graph. Okay? So remember, your x value is left, right. Your function value is up, down. So I'm going to look at -3, +10. That tells me start at the origin, go left 3, up 10. Place a point there, folks. Do that now at -3, 10. Next point is here at -2, 5. So that means start at the origin, go back 2, go up 5. Place a point there. Next point, -3, 2. So that means start at the origin, go left 1 and up 2. I'm going to place a point right there. Next one, again, you got to be careful. Again, every time a 0 is involved, it seems like it trips up way more people. Okay? That 0 means don't go left and right at all. The 1 means go up 1. So I start here. I don't go left and right at all. I go up 1. And that's where I'm going to place my next point. That's actually what's called a y-intercept because it's on the y-axis. Okay? Then I've got 1, 2 and 2, 5. So 1, 2 means over 1, up 2. 2, 5 means to the right 2 and up 5. Now again, you might look at that and think, how am I supposed to connect these? Please don't make it a straight line. Please don't do this. It's not a V. Okay? It's a curve. And all you have to do is hit graph, and you'll see it. this is what you're supposed to be creating. Okay? So it's not a V. It's a nice curve, like a giant U. That's what it should look like. Questions? All right, so I gave you all 3 minutes on this. These are the values you should have had. Okay, but let me kind of walk you through how I would do this. Okay, so I need to type this into my calculator. It's a brand new problem, so I am going to reset my calculator. I'm going to hit second plus 712. I do that before every problem. Okay, so I go to my calculator, second plus 712. Now I go to y equals, and I'm going to type x squared minus 4. X, I'm not going to just type 2. That's wrong. I need to tell the calculator with this little arrow button, I want something up there in the exponent position. Then I type 2. Now I'm done with the exponent. That's why I push the arrow. And then I'll type minus 4. Now, if I want, I can hit graph. And this is the thing, for those of you who did this problem, this is the thing that you should have on your paper. But the way I get that is I have to fill in the table. So let me pretend I don't know what those numbers are. Let me take those back. Okay? Well, all I have to do in my calculator is hit second table. Notice it starts at -3. So I'm going to go up, up, up to -3 and copy those numbers. 5, 0, -3, -4, -3, 0. Okay? Oh. There we go. And actually, I only meant to reveal that. So that's really all you have to get from the calculator. Now, for those of you who are really good at mental math, if you don't want to have to use the calculator, you absolutely can just kind of do the math in your head. If you want to say, well, -3 squared is 9 and 9 minus 4 is 5, go for it. If you want to say -2 squared is 4 and 4 minus 4 is 0, go for it. If you want to do the mental math, fine. But I'm telling you, we are going to see examples that you are not going to want to be doing in your head. So we need to get comfortable with the calculators to understand the concepts. Now, if you graph these points, -3, 5, -2, 0, -1, -3, 0, -4, 1, -3, and 2, 0. You will get the U shape. Questions? There is actually another reason why we just did those problems. I'm hoping people will be able to connect what a +1 does to a graph versus a -4 and what it does to a graph. Can anyone already see what happens when you add a number to a graph and what happens when you subtract a number from a graph? How does it move the graph? It moves it up and down, exactly. Moves it up and down. Okay, this is what's going to fill in the blanks at the bottom. Okay, and let me just show you what I'm talking about. For one of these, we added 1. If we were not adding 1, and we just did this, we just did x squared, this is what the graph would look like. But when we add 1 to it, the red is what the graph looks like. The blue got bumped up 1. And if we were to subtract 4 from it, well, then it gets bumped down 4. Hopefully we can see this. Okay, so when you add and subtract a number to a graph like that, it moves it up and down. And that's what the answers on the blanks at the bottom of the page are. Okay, so when you add a number, you move the graph up. When you subtract a number, you move the graph down. Okay, go ahead and turn the page. Again, I'll be partner A, so I'm going to model how to get this one done. Anyone recall what do those vertical lines mean? I've already said it multiple times, so somebody's got to help me out with this. What do those vertical lines mean? No, I agree that the lines are going up and down, but what does that symbol mean? It's not addition or subtraction. It starts with the letter A. Oh man, I'm getting concerned. Absolute value, folks. It's what we talked about yesterday. Okay, absolute value. Those vertical bars mean absolute value. Let's see if people remember how it works. Can anyone tell me what's the absolute value of -7? 7. Thank you. Absolute value means distance to 0. So if I'm on a number line, let's say I'm at 0, and somebody's standing over there at 7, and somebody else is standing over there at -7, they're both 7 steps away from me. So the absolute value of 7 is 7. The absolute value of -7 is 7. The absolute value of -22 is 22. The absolute value of 4 is 4. It's just how far from 0 are you? Okay? Now, I'm going to teach you something that even a lot of, even high-level math classes like calculus, you get kids in there that don't even know this feature about the calculator. It's actually really cool. Okay? Check this out. Follow along with me. We are going to reset our calculators. Second plus 712. Okay? Second plus 712. Now again, I want to teach you all how to type this into your calculator. So everyone hit y equals. Okay, this is where you type functions in. Y equals is for functions. We need absolute value. Okay? Now, can anyone tell me what is the blue word just above the number 0 on the calculator? What does that say? Catalog. Okay? This is a feature that a lot of kids don't know about. I want everyone to hit second 0. Now, what you are looking at is an alphabetical list of everything the calculator can do for you in alphabetical order. You've got the A's, you've got the B's, you've got the C's, and there's like, I think from memory, there's like a billion C's. The C's just keep going and going and going. Okay? So you all should be on this screen. Okay? And I asked you to press second 0. Now, here's the really nice feature. Absolute value is the very first option. You don't even have to find it. Okay? So you hit enter, and boom, you've got your absolute value symbol. Does anyone want me to go through that one more time? Okay, watch. I'm going to hit clear to kind of erase it. Okay? I'm going to go all the way back to the beginning. I'm going to pretend like I got to reset my calculator again. Second plus 712. I hit y equals, and then I hit second 0. And it's the very first option. Hit enter. And you got your absolute value. Now I'm going to type x plus 3. So x plus 3. If you want, you can hit graph and look at the thing you're trying to create. But I want to complete my table, starting with the number -7. Okay? So I'm going to hit second graph to look at the table. And I'm going to go all the way back until I get to -7. And I want the 4. So I'm going to copy the 4. I also want at -5, -3, -1, 1, and 3. In fact, now that I notice it, these are all odd numbers. -7, -5, -3, -1, 1, and 3. So I want 4 attached to the -7. -5 has 2. -3 has 0, so I'm going to write 4, 2, 0. -1 has 2. +1 has 4. And 3, oh, did it go to 3? Yes, it did. 3 has 6. So it was 4, 2, 0, 2, 4, 6. Again, if you wanted to, you could have done the actual work yourselves, but I'm trying to take away that step. I'm trying to take away that work. And now I'm going to graph these points. Okay? I'm going to start with the point -7, 4. -7, 4. Then I'm going to go to -5, 2. Now the next one, it has a 0, and I keep warning you, zeros seem to be the ones people mess up the most. Remember, all that means is when you start at the origin, the -3 means go left 3. The 0 means do not go up at all. Just stay where you are on the x-axis. So I'm going to plot a point right there at -3. Then I've got -1, 2. Got 1, 4. And I've got 3, 6. And again, you might look at that and be like, what the heck is going on? What is this picture? But if you go back to your calculator and you hit graph, you can see the picture of what you're trying to create. And now I can draw that V. And actually, now that I'm looking at it, I can tell. Can anyone see how one of my points is messed up? I did not do this on purpose. Anyone see how one of my points clearly just is not really in the right spot? Let me make it more obvious. Let me draw that V again. That's a better V. Can you see the point that I screwed up? I swear I didn't do this on purpose. Okay? That point right here, as soon as it lets me click, get out of here. That point is not correct. It should have been right there. I accidentally, I promise I didn't do that on purpose, graphed it at 2,6. Should have been at 3,6. Okay, so now I can change it to blue because it is correct. And now when I draw a V through these points, it'll look just fine. All right, so we've got about 5 minutes left in class. I'm going to give you 3 of those minutes to try to do this problem down here. I'd say at minimum, get the table done and get a couple, like 1 or 2 points graphed. Okay, but that'll leave us with 2 minutes to pack up. Yeah. All right, so I gave students some time to work ahead of me on this particular problem. If they had gotten the correct values, these are the points they would have ended up with. And I'm just going to quickly go ahead and graph those points. We've got -8, 10, -4, 6, 0, 2, 2, 0. So that's a little weird. We got 0, 2 followed by 2, 0, 4, 2, and then 8, 6. And this is my V. All right, so neither class got to the point of being able to complete the next 2 pages, but I will include the answer key to those 2 pages on the Canvas notes. All right, thanks for watching. Have a good one.